Hey everyone, welcome back to Crochet Corner with Jules. Today we're going to be learning how to do the half double crochet. You're going to need scissors, whoops, a yarn needle with a blunt end, your crochet hook. Here we have a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is size I, and your number 4 worsted weight acrylic yarn. First thing we need to do is make our slip knot. You make your loop, fold it over, pull it up through the middle, and pull your short end. Insert your hook, pull the long end to draw it taut. Wrap the yarn around the pinky, up over the palm, get that out of there, and around your first finger. We're going to start off with a chain, and always remember you'll chain as many stitches as you want your project wide, or if you're following a pattern, it will tell you how many stitches you need to chain. You also want to include the allowance for the first stitch. Some people prefer to do 2 on a half double crochet. I prefer to do 1. It will depend on what you like as you go along. Now, to start, we're going to refresh our memory on the chain. You wrap around the hook and pull through. Wrap around and pull through. Let's do 11. 3, 4, oops, 11. All right, and you want to try to keep your chains pretty consistent, so you can always kind of adjust your tension. If your loop gets too big, just pull it back in. No big deal. Let's get our tension again. Around the pinky, up around. Now we're going to crochet our way back across the row. We're going to start in the second stitch from the hook. Here's our first stitch. There's our second stitch. Now, with this one, you're going to yarn over and then insert it into the stitch, yarn over again, and pull it through. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through. Oh, oof, easy for me to say. Pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. Got your 3 hoops, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. All right, and we're going to do that. Oops, sorry about that. Kind of got a bit of a funky setup right now, working on trying to figure out what works best. So excuse the shadows or a little bit of oddness as we grow. You get to your last stitch. You're going to work it just the same. Then chain 1. That's going to be our turning stitch. Alternately, you can chain 2 if you decide that's how you want to go about it. Now you're going to turn it, and you're going to work back across. Now, you always work in the, well, some stitches call for you to work in the back loop or the front loop, but for our purposes, we're going to work in the top loop, or the top V. Yarn over, start in that first stitch, not your chain, but your first stitch, and it goes exactly the same. Yarn over, get through those 2 on top, yarn over, pull through, and through all 3. Now make sure you count your stitches as you go, because it's easy to add a stitch or drop a stitch. So that was our second stitch. Just count as you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10's a little wonky, but you just want to get, you see how you have your little V up there still. You just want to get your hook into that little V. And there you have it. We'll do it one more row. Chain 1, turn, and start over. Now if you don't, some people don't like to count as they go. You can make the stitches and count at the end. But then if you've lost a stitch, sometimes, you know, it could be difficult to find if you're doing, you know, a more complicated pattern. So I prefer myself to just count as I go. And we get this little guy here, that little V. There. So there's a couple rows of the V-stitch, or the half double crochet. Now, alternately, if you want to do the 2 stitches, we'll do a couple rows like that, and you can see there's really not a lot of difference. It all depends on your personal preference. So here we go with 2. We're still going to start in this first stitch, and we're going to do our 10 stitches across. So you'll be able to see here in a second when we get another row done kind of the difference. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. Like I said, it's personal preference if you want to chain the 1 or the 2 at the end. And if you are crocheting a pattern, 9 times out of 10 they're going to tell you how many that they used when they designed the pattern. You'll still have that little V at the end there. And let's make sure we have our 10. Now you don't count that, but you start counting with your first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're good. Oops. Sometimes you just gotta struggle a little. Sometimes it goes right through and sometimes it just does not want to cooperate. And sometimes also your yarn, depending on what kind of yarn you get, sometimes the strands can split and that'll be a little bit difficult. But you can, you know, take your time. If a stitch messes up, rip it out. You'll probably do that a whole lot when you're starting out because it's all part of the learning process. It's no big deal. All right. Now we've done a few rows with the chain 2 and a few rows down here with the chain 1. So it just depends on what you like. And you would use your yarn needle to sew the end in. I'll show you here. Let's pull our, I always, when I take my hook out, I pull the hoop long so that I don't lose it. And we'll just thread our needle, pull it through, and then you'll work it kind of back and forth. Try to hide your end in there as good as you can. And I usually try to pull out my corners so it doesn't get all bunched in. Flip your work. Make sure you got enough tail. And we'll go back over just a couple to kind of double secure it. If you want to go in your stitches down here, that's fine too. Whatever you prefer, but you just want to try to keep it hidden. You wouldn't want to like trail it from here to here. That would not look right. So, see, you can't hardly see anything there. And if you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to see it at all. And then you just snip your yarn. Give it a little pull. Get your corners how you like them. And then you can pick up where you left off. And then you'll tie in your ends at the end of the project. You can make a coaster, you know, make it square. Use, you know, if you wanted a scarf, maybe chain 20. If you wanted a washcloth, maybe chain 15. However you want to do it, it's all up to you and your personal preference. I'm just trying to show you the basics so you can take it and run with it and have fun and enjoy your new, relaxing, wonderfully creative and beautiful hobby. I know you all will be able to do a fine job and you will soon learn how to make many beautiful things. Have faith in yourself. You can do it. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, just want to say hi, pop it down in the comments. I'd be happy to hear from you. And until next time, have a wonderful day. And enjoy yourself. Life is short. Bye.